In this video, we're going to go over some of the storage and organizing updates we made in the Sequoia for our most recent trip.
Stop it, we're not saying that on camera.
Before we get started on anything, I want to point out the obvious. 1, the Sequoia is filthy. 2, I'm filthy. And then 3, my driveway is filthy. And that's because we literally just got back from a trip. In fact, the Sequoia is still wearing some trail scars that we put her through. The reason why I wanted to make this video, when you go off-roading, everything gets very dirty. You get very dirty. Things move around, and I wanted to give you guys a real-world look of how we're currently organizing our Sequoia and what that means for us when we off-road. If you have different needs for your Sequoia, some of these things are going to change, but these are the things that we're doing. Number one thing that I found is put things in the places where you're going to use them the most. That sounds a little obvious, but I'll give you a sense of what I mean. A lot of people put their fridge slide in the back, but in a Sequoia, your back hatch opens up very, very tall. And if you have a 270-degree awning, you can't use that hatch all the way up. You'll hit your head all the time. Plus, on top of that, do you really want to open up your hatch every single time you want a soda or water? So we moved our fridge to a place where we actually use it a lot more. We travel with 3 pit bulls, and our pit bull's favorite thing in the world is to look out the back window when we're driving. It's like a thing with every dog in a Toyota. They love to look out the back window. In fact, if your dog loves to look out the back window when you're driving, let me know in the comments below. It's kind of like my favorite thing to let my dog say hi to everyone in traffic when we're driving. This is the back of our rig as it stands now. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, this might look a little different to you than what we had before. And yes, it is different. In fact, I just did all this 2 days before the trip. There's some spare wood over there. What we did here was we redid this rear platform to accommodate our needs, and we added a lot more storage. As you know, our dog's favorite thing in the world is to kind of hang out back here and look out the back window. So when we travel, we put a pad over this, like a foam pad or a gel pad, just so the dogs don't feel the plastic. But this is currently what we have, and I'm gonna walk you through really the advantage of this. First and foremost, I hate having backpacks and bags and things on top of each other when you're off-roading. I hate it for daily driving. I think that if you're gonna go this far to build a rig, you want your rig to kind of just stay on the ready whenever you need it. Not to grab bags, unload bags. I just want everything in the rig ready to go anytime we want to go. That allows Emily and me to go on day trips, multi-day trips, different destinations. It's just on the ready at all times. Sure, this could use a good cleanup, but I mean, the whole point is to show you exactly what it looks like after we're done using it. So we're going to talk about the OVS cabinet. I'm not sponsored by OVS. This is not a plug for OVS. If you have any sort of cabinet drawer, it's really going to allow you to take advantage of space back here for a few ways. Now, there's some trick things we did with this. So first and foremost, it is a regular drawer, but the inside of the OVS drawer is actually carpeted. And we had the iKamper organizational kitchen bag, but the cool thing with the iKamper bag is these are actually Velcro, or hook and loop fasteners. So we figured we could stick these to the side of the drawer, allow it to keep everything nice and tight when we're off-roading, and then we can load up this drawer. And do you remember when I said in the beginning of the video, you always want to put things where you're going to use them the most? And one of my favorite things to do is make coffee out the back of the rig in the morning. Instead of grab all my coffee supplies, move it to a table. What if there is no table? I'm not going to set up a table. I want to be able to reach in here, get my coffee filter, get my cup, get my jet boil, and then I can prepare coffee over here, which I actually did on this last trip. Or if I want a little bit more space, I can have a coffee prep station here. And if I want even more space, I could use this as my coffee prep station. However, I do want to say, we have strapped in our scuttle to the top of this. Now, if we had a regular camp stove, which we are considering moving to, I would also strap the camp stove onto this. No, we didn't put a fridge on this. We put our cooking apparatus because we're not always cooking. And so this can just kind of stay as is. And if I were to put a fridge up here, I wouldn't be able to see up on the top what I'm loading or what I'm grabbing. So that's just a little too tall for me. So if you're wondering, yes, this is a slide and it can use as a fridge slide. But if you have a fridge up this high, there's no way you can get up in here and get your stuff. So we put our cooking apparatus on here, and I just used some nice little hook and loop fasteners on eye bolts, and it locks in place. Then what we did was we took our water port, and now there are a few companies who make different water systems out there. We like our water port, but I mean, we might switch over to the Dometic water system, but I just want everything to kind of be in line here. I don't want like water tanks here. I don't want water tanks underneath all the seats. And the beauty of having the water port here is, one, it's kind of out of the way. Two, we walk the dogs all the time where we live, and the dogs get hot after a walk. So this makes things a lot easier. Like, we could literally use this daily instead of just on a camping trip. Since the water port and the coffee making area and cleaning everything is back here, I keep my hose for my water port right over here. And I have it loose right now, but usually I Velcro this in place. And I went to Home Depot and I got a little adapter for the water port here, and it just kind of plugs in. And then we can use water wherever we're at. Rinse off our feet. Maybe we can use it to rinse off this dirty ass car. And I also didn't want to drill into this for the water port. So what I did was I used 3M double-sided tape and Velcro, and I used the mount that comes with water port to mount it to the OVS box. The OVS box is hard mounted on the platform, but the water port allows me to lift up the water port if I want, and I can go take this to camp, take it wherever, get it filled with whatever I want, take it out and clean it. It also keeps it nice and sturdy when I'm off-roading. Nothing back here moved. This is exactly how it looks coming home, and it looks exactly the same way getting to camp. So none of this moves, and I can honestly tell you this is field tested. So that's kind of my big area back here. Now these are just Amazon boat hull access ports or access hatches, and sure, yes, they get very dirty when you're off-roading. In fact, a lot of coffee grounds, dirt, dust can get on these, but they're sealed. So when you open them up, there's no dirt on the inside. And what we keep in here would be all of our straps, stakes, ratchet straps. The awning strap goes in this bag here, and as you can see, there's some blue things inside here. That's actually a camp chair that I load in from the front. If you look all the way here, you have some lights for camp that I can use to light up the camp. So I love having an access port back here, and then it's sealed because it's marine grade. So once you lock these two down, it seals itself, and it doesn't allow things like literally what I'm taking from the trail here into the hatch. This is just a little security lock I used to have on the water port, but honestly I don't think I'm gonna run this, so we'll throw this bad boy away. And then here, I'm gonna take this off, and we'll put it on the side for now. So as you can see, like just with the back, we have a lot of stuff that really takes care of many areas of camping. We got cooking apparatus, we got cleaning, we got coffee, and we got fresh water all right here, and we haven't even touched any of the space of the car. If you have a truck or a Tundra or even a GX or a 4Runner, this could probably work for you because you keep everything where you're gonna use it the most. But we're gonna move on over to the side of the rig. Our Pro Speed rack that we use to haul our little 5-pound propane, and we use that one propane bottle to handle our cooking, our coffee, and our fire pit at night. Sometimes there's a burn ban in Washington, sometimes there's a burn ban in California, and you can't always have actual fires, so by having a propane source, it allows you to have fire whenever you want. And I'm gonna say the biggest unlock that we found for having things on the exterior MOLLE panel are these roller cam straps. The reason why is because they're super easy to tighten and really cinch down. And you can see here, I'm just done cleaning my trasharoo. I use my trasharoo that usually goes on the back of a rig, and I throw it on the side of the molly panel here. And I strap the trasharoo to the molly panel with this, with the trasharoo straps as well, to keep it from flapping in the wind. And it stays on there, especially when the truck is doing some crazy hard terrain. It stays on, and that's super impressive. Now we're gonna talk about the fridge. I chose to put the fridge here. Now, we are going to be switching this fridge out with an Iceco fridge that will actually open this way instead of this way. That way it allows me a little bit more room to see what I'm doing. But a lot of people, when they first get a fridge, they immediately put it in the back of the rig, put it on a slide, and do that. But what I realized is you don't always have to put a fridge on a slide, and it always doesn't have to go in the back of your rig. In fact, with a rooftop tent like what we have here, our tent is gonna open and come out the side here. So my wife and I will be hanging out in this area quite a bit. Maybe we're gonna hang out under the tent and, you know, have chairs and use that. So to have drinks right in the door of the car to grab a drink or whatever we want, that makes life so much easier. I don't know if we're ever gonna switch away because I really love having the fridge here. Also on the top we have our Pro Speed rack, which I've shown an install video on how to do. Up on the Pro Speed rack is a spare jacket, which you can see, or jackets for us, the solar panels that we use to charge all of our batteries, and then more bedding and down jackets and pillows, because when dust gets in a car, it settles, and I would hate to have dust settling on an area where our bedding is, so we keep our bedding and all of our things high, so when dust comes in, it falls away from it instead of falls up into it. Our Sequoia is a platinum model, so we have one of these little center cubbies here, and what I use for the center cubby is I use it to do all the big stuff that just doesn't really have a home. So right here is recovery gear, straps, shackles, D-rings. In here is the mattress air pump for the iKamper mattress. Again, it's in the area where we're gonna use it most. Our battery system's over there, our pump's here, our tent's above. So we keep it here instead of all the way in the back. And then anything else in here, like if I'm going fishing, I'll throw a pack of lures in here. So you can always just grab it pretty easily. Another thing with the Sequoia being the platinum is you do have some storage for items in here, but I haven't actually used this. What I like to do sometimes is when my wife and I are doing long road trips, I'll throw like chips or snacks or something small in there, and then I'll fill these cup holders with water bottles that are ready to go. So that way when we just reach behind the seat and grab what we want instead of like rummage in the fridge. Another huge organizational tool we use is this back of the seat molly panel. There are tons of versions of these, and honestly I wish this was all Velcro so I could grab a bag and rip it off instead of molly strap it. I hate molly straps. Or this bag with the flag on it, so I remember, is all cords. This bag is very self-explanatory to tell you what it is. It's all first aid. I keep a multi-tool very handy here. I don't run it in the back, I don't put it in the front, because if we ever need a multi-tool, I can grab it. And then in here, it's all flashlights and headlamps. I'll probably use cords more often than I will flashlights and headlamps. What if I want to charge my phone? What if I want to go on a day trip? What if I want to do something like that? So I don't always have flashlights up high. And how many headlamps and flashlights do you actually need? And then down in here, I keep a little packable shovel. I actually pulled it out from under the seat so you can see it. And then a spare fanny pack that's totally empty. So if we want to go on a day trip or a day hike, we can throw snacks in that fanny pack. We can clip it onto a water bottle holder, put it over our shoulder and go. And then here along the way, this is for things that are super tall. Like you could put camp chairs here, a camp table, but we use it for the tent stakes or the stakes that go on the 270 awning, because they're very tall and they don't really fit anywhere in the car, and I don't really want to have them like across here or across here to impede where the dogs go, so they're there. An area of the car that I'm really proud of, but it does need a lot of work, is our power area. Now we are not running a dual battery. What we are running is an EcoFlow, and I just threw it in here. It's gonna probably tell me my battery is pretty low, it's 4%. I threw an EcoFlow here on its side, and that way I can use it to run the fridge if I want. I can also plug in things to it by opening the hatch pretty easily, and then putting the things inside the cubby so they're nice and protected. Like, what if I want to charge phones, cameras, RC cars? They can all go in the cubby here while it's charging. If your car is stationary and you're not going anywhere, then you can charge it, and then you can use the surface area all around it. You could even like kind of half close it a little bit and put all your devices on top so it's easy to grab. And then you can see the continuation of the access ports are back there. I made sure to make the sleeping platform not partitioned. I wanted it to be sturdy, so I kept all the supports in line as you see them here, so I know no matter what, right there all the way back in that row will be supports, over there will be supports. I made the supports on that side a lot more dense than I made on this side, because obviously there's holes cut out of the wood here, so it's not very strong. So I only have one row of supports, plus I have supports on the side, but on there, since I have the fridge and I have water and I have the box, I have 3 rows of supports, and they're very dense to support the weight. But by having it open, I can actually slide things in here, like I have the EcoFlow underneath there. I have a camp chair underneath there. I actually have fly fishing rods in there, which you can barely see, but they're in there. I keep the fly fishing net here, and then I have kind of like an everyday use pad there. So if we want to go have a picnic somewhere, I have a pad there, I can just reach in and grab it. I use this to do like really big bags. So if my wife and I are camping, we usually like to share a bag. Now listen, I know that every wife in the world won't want to share a backpack with you with their clothes and your clothes. I get it, but we like doing that because what we find is when you camp, you get filthy. And maybe 1 or 2 days you might wear the same pants, you might wear the same shirt, don't kill me for saying that, and because you're out, you're camping, you're dirty, you're dusty, it's not glamorous, it's not beautiful. So why bring so many clothes? Bring your things that you need to change, but you don't need like 2 outfit changes a day. Just bring essentials, bring layers, and bring things that you can wear multiple times. So with that, we share a bag, and then in this bag is our go bag. So if we're going and we're gonna bring firearms, you can throw on like ammunition. I think I actually still have my firearm in here. We have a little pouch here for water bottles. We have cords and chargers. We have sunglasses in here. So yeah, this is kind of one of those, again, Molly system everything bags. It's not just a duffel, it's not just a gym bag. It can kind of adapt up and down for us. And then I keep the walls of the awning up here too, because I used to shove the walls of the awning underneath there, and this is in a very high use area, but I don't want to really just unpack the whole truck to get to the walls of the awning. I'd rather pack on top of this with our bags and then just kind of have it sit there. Plus it's a nice cushy spot, it's not really harming anyone. With my bag like this, I can still use this as a flat area, and I can still use it as a chair if I wanted to. So if people are coming, obviously I'll clean the rig up a little bit, but like the use of the car is not impeded anyway by having my stuff here. And then we'll move on to the front. Nothing has really changed up front. We still have our Garmin Overlander, we still have our CarPlay head unit. I took everything off this stupid thing, don't ever, it's just so annoying. If you're driving solo and you don't have a wife or girlfriend or a partner, then sure, load that thing up. But if you have a partner or anyone sitting in the jump seat of here, they're gonna hate you because all the molly bags you put on that thing are gonna be in their face. But let me show you what's in the middle console here. And that's everything we have to like keep our hands clean. There's gloves, there's napkins, there's microfibers, there's spray cleaner, there's bug spray. It's kind of all in there. It's the everything drawer. Like every house has an everything drawer, and this one's kind of like clothing or cleaning themed. And that way, if you need to just wipe your hands real quick before you drive, you reach into the everything drawer and you do it. The organization of the Sequoia is kind of like something I'm super anal about, because I want to make sure it can adapt up or down, it kind of stays organized, and we have room for the dogs at all times. The truck is filthy, I'm very filthy. There's still daylight out, so the wife and I are gonna go and enjoy our day, or our weekend. If you have any questions on how we load up our rig, what we use, any products, or if you have any suggestions on how we should load up our rig, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.